Did some off-camera work fixing up a couple of things. Tidy up the menu label, which just means that prior to this was in lowercase and I made it uppercase, and I made it close menu instead of just close to be clear what we're closing. And also fixed, oh yes, the spawn point. Prior to this, the spawn point, you just come in at that point. Now it takes your rotation into consideration. So if you turn the spawn point, you're going to spawn into the space at that angle, which is good for crafting that first experience when somebody comes in. Okay, let's make improvements to the wall maker. I want this to be able to make walls and doors, but I don't like this UI that I made. Maybe it's not a wall. It can be obstacle. Barrier. Maybe it's a barrier. Let's call it that. Wall maker, barrier maker. Close barrier maker. Rename this to barrier maker. And this becomes barrier maker. And this becomes barrier maker. This becomes barrier maker. And what else? Barrier maker. And go to barrier maker. That, and then we'll call this the barrier maker. Let's exit totally and come back in. Okay, there's a barrier maker. If we jump in inside, let's remove this toggle. We don't need this. Reset wall end. created. Let's call it wall. Payload is going to be, okay, let's enter this. Let's see. I keep the entity type is just wall. Okay, edit toggle, we don't need the edit toggle, so we're going to remove this. And this should still work, right? We go in there, get the barrier maker, build, and still builds. It just only builds wall. So we'll create several buttons. One is called build wall. So say build wall. And we have two options: create red door, create blue door, or create neutral door. I'll put this higher up. Cut and paste. Wall door, red door, blue door. Point on the floor to create wall corners. And then these need to be functions that take parameters. So let's just call this create. Okay, so this doesn't need to be in here, does it? Yeah, it kind of does. Scrollable primitives, and you're creating options for a callback. So it's UI related. Okay, let's just keep it here. Let's call this create and take a entity type, which is a string, and then you will return this function. Entity type would be like that. That. This. Push this. Da da da. I'll keep all of this. Center. Okay. Okay, so then this function is going to be called create, and then this is going to create a wall. This will create a door. This will create a red door. This will create a blue door. Do you specify anything about color here? Okay, so if it's wall, it's this. And I guess we can make a function. So barrier color given entity type, which is a string, just switch entity type case wall. Okay. Create a wall. Create a door. Create a red door. Okay, something happened here. I guess I'm not. Create red door. Let's see. Oh, we don't have a corresponding. Okay, so I think it's in there. We can check by using GraphQL. There's a wall, a door, a red door. So there's three kinds of doors. Let's make this one kind of pick this one, which is here. And for a regular door, let's choose something like this. And red door, yeah, red door can be this. And blue door can be this. Down back here, let me delete these. So I want to create a barrier that goes from here, 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 and here. That's the back wall. And then create a neutral door, oops, from here to here. And then create a red door from, oops, from here to here. Create the red door. And then from here to here, we'll just create a blue door. Okay. When I close this on dispose, I should remove any of this. Which we do inside, oh, here, scrollable primitives, create, okay. We do wall points. Reset. For each dispose, okay, we'll do a reset. For structure, let's put it at the top. The reset can only be called from, is that true? Const reset. I don't think so. We can move this out. Then on dispose, oh, we already have one. This reference indicator. Okay, yeah. And so I'm just going to, yeah, let's also do Let's reset. Finally, down here, this is going to use this reset, and this will use this reset. So if we're in here and we do started something, oh, never mind, leave here, we just go away. So we made improvements to WallMaker. I like this UI. Now what? So it has to work, and right now I don't believe it does. So if we go up to it and we try to open it, well, we can't go through it, but clicking on it doesn't open anything. And that's because doors respond to keys, do they not? Let's take a look at the door manager. First of all, when you're creating this, the door, what belongs to the mesh? We create this based on the height. So you call this create wall. Collision's true, and it's a blocker. Create wall. Add any metadata? No. Tags? No. It simply creates the geometry. Okay. Well, we do have the type on the mesh, on the metadata. So let's take a look at the door manager. This checks the current state. Okay. And we're looking for certain metadata here. Entity. Move grabbed entities into the hands of avatar. If entity collected, not literally into the hands, into the collection. Keys, the set of keys. So this is set of key colors I have collected. Entity collected has an entity ID. So you go into the scene and you find the entity ID. And if the entity ID has metadata and the metadata is about red key or let's make a function for this. entity is key, give me the entity, which is a Babylon abstract mesh. So you either return the entity name, entity metadata, and entity metadata is red key or blue key. If this is true, simply return the entity metadata. Oh, no. This is called the type, right? Because in Scene Manager, at the end of all this, we assign the metadata type is entity type. Okay, entity is key, so we're gonna just get that if entity and there's an entity, and let's say the key type and let's make this a function. We'll just say entity collected. Which is it? No, I think we're fine. It's not that complicated. So we have the keys, red key or blue key, incoming. If you collect a key, then collected mesh, and if there's a collected mesh and here we're saying that it's door, but it should be key. Okay, so real-time messages. The pointer info, pointer pick, and you picked a mesh, and the picked mesh has metadata. Let's just say we're gonna need the mesh entity animated offset. Oh, we're gonna move the door. Okay. Hold on. This collects the key, but what makes the key disappear? Entity collected. Avatar manager. Find avatar collected. Oh, an avatar collects the entity? Okay. It's an odd place to put it since it doesn't have to do with the avatar here, but interesting. Entity collected. Entity grabbed, entity released, entity collected. Sure, okay. I see the pattern. And then this adds the key. Okay, fine. And if you're talking about a door, so if collecting a key for myself, add to my key collection. If clicking on a door, move it if I have the key. Okay, we're going to say picked mesh. We also need to be able to close the door, but let's see. So here we're returning the picked mesh, which could be nil. So we want to filter where picked mesh is picked mesh, and picked mesh has metadata. We'll have to do that. We can remove this because we're mapping into a picked mesh, and we can check to see if this is anything. This could be null. So let's check entity is key, and we can just say if entity, and it's got to be something. So we say here's the now you need to check to see if it's a door. Okay, so that goes like this. Entity is door. Entity is door. Right, let's just copy this thing. empty metadata, and you're either door or red door or blue door. Return the door, or yeah, not a door. Okay. Okay, so let door type equal this entity is door with mesh. If door type and can open door type, give me the door type, so this will be a boolean, right? So if door type equal just a door, return true. If door type equal red door and this keys has a red key, or it's a blue door in here, reworked, copy, paste. So for regular door, you don't need a key. So you can just say this, copy, paste that. Door type is equal to door, or there's a red door and you have a red key, or it's a blue door, you have a blue key. Okay, so if you have a door type, if can open door type, then okay, first we got to check distance to camera, right? Mesh distance to camera is less than 3, so let's check this first and get out of here if it isn't true. Well, I guess these are cheaper than the other thing, so we can check here. First check to see if you have the key. If you finally have the key, see if you're close enough. So if you have the door type, let's put this in here. We don't need to check this. Get distance of camera, if it's less than 3, then emit entity animated offset. So if you keep clicking on it, it keeps going up, but that's a separate problem. So let's see if this works. We don't have any keys right now. Let me refresh. Okay, don't need a key for that one, so that works. That is way high. That will not open for me. This will not open for me. Let's throw in some keys. Ah, yes, I need to be able to make a red key and a blue key. So from here, currently, I can only make a key, sadly. So let's go to the game construct. Oh, this red key and a blue key. So if I just emit and components, what are the default components? It's a little bit high. Okay, good. Yeah, let's add a color to it. So if it's a red key, components, color equal this. Else if equal blue key let's do that. Then we need to create the key in the scene manager. So it's going to be a red key, or entity type is blue key. So create this, and I think the color should just come with it, and you say it's a collectible. I think the rest should just work, right? Red key. Okay, let's go get it. That works. Still can't open that. If I click this again, goes up again as expected. Okay. I have to have a way of shutting it. I can still move this, right? If I get up close. Yeah. Drop me a blue key, will you? Blue key. And it's collected. And then I come over here, and then yep. Okay. Okay, so it kind of works. You got a bug here in that you can't close the door, so we'll work on that later.